Today we're going to look a little bit more into the absolute value equations. I thought maybe you need a little extra help on it after going around. I'm looking at multi-step absolute value equations right now. And I don't have my drawing pad today, so I'm just going to read off an example and go through the steps. And you need to write this in your composition books. So the first one we're going to look at is solve the absolute value of 2x minus 1 closed plus 3 equals 6. Okay, first thing you do, obviously, is you write the problem down. So you have that absolute value of 2x minus 1, and then you put plus 3 equals 6. And the first thing you want to do, it says isolate the absolute value. That means get the absolute value and all that's inside of it by itself. So the way we do that is we get rid of this first. And remember, we're adding 3, so the inverse of that is subtracting 3. So by subtracting 3 to both sides, you get absolute value of 2x minus 1 equals 3. Okay, so is the number on the other side of the equation negative? If it is negative, you have to stop and you say no solution, because you can't have negative spaces. That's what this absolute value is asking. How many spaces from this number? And you can't go negative spaces. You can only go positive. So if this 3 were a negative over here before you did your work, then you would say, nope, can't go on. But in this instance, it's a positive, so we're good. Step 3, write two equations without absolute value bars. So you write your first one, so you break it off into 2x minus 1 equals 3, and then you go 2x minus 1 equals negative 3. That's the only change there, that negative 3. Because when they ask what numbers are a certain distance away from another number, you're going to have two numbers on the left-hand side of it and the right-hand side of it that are that distance. So that's why you break them off into the two equations. Now you're just going to solve both equations. So for 2x minus 1 equals 3, you'd add 1 to both sides, which would give you 2x equals 4, and then you would divide by 2, which gives us x equals 2. The other equation, 2x minus 1 equals negative 3, you're going to add 1 to both sides, so you get 2x equals negative 2. Then you divide by 2 and you get x equals negative 1. Let's look at another one that looked kind of complicated to me, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. So you have solved the absolute value of x minus 7 equals the absolute value of 2x minus 2. So we have absolute values on both sides. So the way we work this is we don't need to isolate those absolute values. There's no numbers around it that are not in the absolute value bars. So we just write our problem. So we go x minus 7 equals 2x minus 2. But now we need to break it into that other number, remember, because there's two numbers that are that many spaces apart. So I go over here and I do x minus 7, and all you do is you put a minus sign outside of my 2x minus 2. Because you're making this, the answer, a negative. Let's solve both sides. So we go to the left-hand side first, and we have x minus 7 equals 2x minus 2. And then we're going to be, it looks like they subtracted a 2x to this side, which gave me negative x. And then they added a 2 to this side, which gave me a positive 5. And that leaves me with negative x equals 5. And I divide by a negative, and it gives me x equals negative 5. Now, going from this step to this step, they distributed that negative to both those terms. So they did the opposite of 2x and the opposite of negative 2x. So they got x minus 7 equals negative 2x plus 2. Then what they did was they added 2 to both sides to get 3x. I'm sorry, they added 2x to both sides to get 3x minus 7 equals 2. Then they added the 7 to the 2, which gives you 9, and you divide by 3, x equals 3. Make sure you have these equations down. If you have any questions, write them in your composition book so I can help you out in the morning. Okay, thank you.